episode 2 of Tiny Sofa Sessions with Sam and Jenny. I'm Sam.
I'm Jenny.
And what are we talking about today, Jenny?
Today we are going to talk about rewiring your brain and how that can lead to all kinds of accomplishments and successes in your life.
Yeah.
Sam, I'm going to start with you this time. What does rewiring your brain mean to you, and why is it necessary?
Yeah, I think that's a great topic, because rewiring your brain is so essential if you want different results.
Of course.
So, there's that quote, I don't know the exact quote, but insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. And that's the same thing for your internal talk and just the way that you think and process things.
Mm-hmm.
So if your self-talk and just mentality doesn't evolve, neither will your actions. And I think that when I'm thinking about growing, I have to, make some changes in the way that I've really understood, processed, acted on things in my life in order to do so.
Yeah, absolutely. I think too, there's the value in stagnation, right? So I think a lot of times, and we talked about this a bit in episode 1, but people get in sort of this fear mentality, and the comfort of the same thing feels safe. But safety doesn't really grow anything, right? And if you think back, at all point in times, we all had to learn to walk, we all had to learn to use utensils, we all had to learn to use a bathroom, whatever it was. And for us at that time, that was extremely challenging.
Yeah.
But as we grow, we get caught in this safety mechanism. And I think the safety comes with a lot of, as you said, negative self-talk, negative patterns and behaviors. And I think to rewire ourselves, it really is a conscious effort. It's learning to stand up and take a few steps and fall back down, and not having the fear of knowing that you might have to catch yourself a few times in that process. It may be months, it could be weeks, it depends on who you are, but really stopping yourself and going, hold on, this is not conducive to the future that I want.
Absolutely.
In whatever regard.
I think also the way that you go about it will definitely have an impact on the process. I actually wrote an article on Medium a while back about my move to Germany, and at the time, it didn't last very long, as some of you will know. But at the time I wrote about how that has a transformative impact to actually take yourself out of your comfort zone, because some of the rewiring can actually happen just by purely your environment, and just changing things that are in your day-to-day, having to speak a different language, having to be around different people that have slightly different ways of doing things, and just really getting a new perspective. So that can actually rewire your brain without necessarily you having to actively think about rewiring your brain. It's just circumstantial to your environment and everything that you're exposed to. And for me, that's definitely something that I used to do quite a bit. I've moved a significant amount. I've learned 2 languages that way. So I think that had a big impact on doing that. But I'm not saying that everyone needs to go out and move to a different country. I'm just saying that just making small changes in your environment can have a big impact on your brain's wiring. So just you are kind of the sum of the things that you do. You are the people that you hang out with, the places that you go, the things that you read, the things that you learn about, and that will all have a really big impact on your person, your brain, just the way that you think about things. So
I think I cannot remember for the life of me in the moment who said it, but there's 3 wars, right? You're at war with yourself, war with your environment, and war with others.
Yeah.
And when you think about those types of things and you think about rewiring your brain, as you said, I think it's a lot of piece apart what you're at war with. Do you love your job? Is it the job you want to do forever?
Yeah.
And you're still feeling unhappy? Well, then you may be at war with a friend or your partner or yourself. And so in order to rewire, you have to think about what it is you're wanting to address. Because I think a lot of times, as we talked about in episode 1 with success, we think about these really grandiose life changes and we really want to tackle that all. Instead of piece by piece, right? So understanding ourselves, loving ourselves, being the kind of person we want to be is to me the first step to any type of progress. And I would be interested, do you have other tips or tricks, things that you use yourself besides moving to another country? Because obviously that is an amazing tool. It is.
Yeah.
I mean, even for me, just moving 3 hours to where we currently live
Yes.
and having to learn a language I don't speak,
Yeah.
that in itself was a rewiring for
Yeah,
me.
absolutely.
But I'm interested, do you use other tools?
Yeah, definitely. Like there's other tools that I use. So I do see a psychiatrist,
Mhm.
and I actually take medications that improve my ADHD. I know some people are kind of against that and think you should go about it naturally. I think it's kind of a whole holistic approach.
Mhm.
So obviously I don't just take the medications. I actually also, exercise,
Mhm.
diet,
Mhm.
medications. I'm also seeing an ergotherapist,
Mhm.
which is to actually kind of like help with that. So there's definitely a lot of avenues that you can kind of go down to do that. And I think why just use one when
Totally.
there's so many things available to you? Not all of them are going to work on you, so it's also a little bit of experimentation. I went to see a hypnotherapist and I was told in the second session that I was not a suitable candidate for that because I didn't have enough visual imagination. So, she literally told me, she's like, there's no point to you coming back. I can't help you.
But you
So,
tried.
I tried.
You tried, right?
Absolutely. So, but different things will work for different people.
Mhm.
I find that I need to kind of put a little bit in each pot to be able to get my results that I need. What about you?
I agree with you. I think wellness in general and like rewiring our thought process is really a wraparound service. I don't think like you can't out-train a bad diet. You can't eat 100% clean, never move your body and expect to have gymnastic mobility. I think it's all of these things are part and parcel of one thing. For me, I know getting out of my mindset, and I was never really self-deprecating in any regard. I've got far too much ego for that, but for me, like learning discipline was part of it. And so tactics that I used was every day I would write down in my journal as if I had already accomplished those things.
Mm-hmm.
And so I won't write down, I want to have a business. I would write to myself like, my business is successful. I am loving, kind, generous, whatever it is that I'm trying to work on. So that for me is very much about rewiring. And I speak a lot with my clients about this, in that you have to get your diet right. You have to get your exercise right. You have to get your hydration right. You have to get sunlight. You have to get sleep.
Yeah.
You can't start to rewire your thought process if you're already in a state where you're staying up all night drinking 16 energy drinks and gaming for 20 hours straight and not consuming food.
Yeah.
Because we know already that your regulatory system is not in place to have a positive impact on your mental processes.
Yeah.
So if you start to put those things in place, and then they say, show me, Dan Pena, show me your friends, I'll show you your future, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're around, what do they say, like you are the sixth person of the five that you're with.
Yeah.
So if you're around people with no aspirations, who are constantly negative, who party all the time, who eat terribly, they sleep all the time, like you and I know, we both lived those lives. How successful was your life in that time, and what was your mindset like, right?
Yeah.
You carry a lot of guilt, you carry a lot of shame, you're angry at people around you who are succeeding, but you don't know how to get there. And I think it really starts with like stopping that.
Yeah.
For me, it was like stopping that, cutting off all of those people from my life.
Yeah.
And I recognize that that's as dramatic as saying move to another country, but I mean it. If my family, if my loved ones did not support me trying to be a different and better person, gone. That's it. You don't love me if you don't support my success.
Yeah. And like all of the things that you mentioned sound so simple, right? It's like kind of like the cores of life, but like really if people are honest with themselves, myself included many times, and even still today, like there's still many things that I'm working on, people just really don't do them.
No, they don't. That's like literally it's.
And it sounds really basic, and it sounds like, oh yeah, I got, but no, like really, like actually like track yourself, like really check that out, and like you'll see you're probably doing that like quite a bit less than you think.
Yeah.
And it really does take a lot of discipline to continually stay on that, and that's one of the things that I really admire about the things that we really bonded over is I really enjoyed your discipline and kind of watching you go. So again, adding that to my circle and helping that bring that into my life more.
Yeah.
And really, yeah, like even the friends thing, because it can be difficult to just leave people behind, but really it's not you leaving them behind.
They've left themselves behind.
Well, that's it, yeah. So they're just not moving forward with you.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you're not moving forward, you're going backwards in life.
Yeah, and you always say it best. You're like, I wish you love and light on your journey. Your journey just isn't with me.
Yeah.
And that's okay. It doesn't mean that you have to hate people or you have to have this aggressive fallout with them. It shouldn't get to that point.
No.
If you just aren't, and I'm not saying your friends need to be accomplishing the same goals as you.
Not
Obviously, we are because we are in a business together. But
yeah.
I think your friends just have to have their own aspirations that you support.
Absolutely.
And in turn, they have to support yours. And that means people are at all kinds of different levels, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
You don't, all of your friends don't need to be billionaires with six-pack abs and,
No.
that life. But your friends need to have growth aspirations. And I think that is a key factor to rewiring your own mind is if you're around confident, loving, kind, generous, successful, intelligent people who come to you and challenge you to be your best self. Like if you came to me tomorrow and you said, I ate McDonald's today, you know how I would respond to that. Because I love
not
it.
well.
Yeah, not well. Because I love and care for you. And
Yeah.
to me, supporting your own, because as you said, we think we do these things, but we don't.
Mm-hmm.
Most people don't.
Yeah.
And if you track for just 1 week, and this is why we need coaches in our lives.
All of us, coaches
us
included,
right? And it's like, if you track what you do for 1 week and you reflect on that, there's probably a really big reason why you don't have motivation, again, my least favorite word, but why you're not disciplined, why you're not feeling great. Like, is there shame? Is there guilt? Is there anger? Is there confusion? Do you feel left behind from the people around you? Do you feel like you're not accomplishing your goals? I know at 25, I was freaking out that I had friends that were working government jobs and making 8 times the salary I was making while I was bartending. That made me feel very left behind.
Mm-hmm.
And I was frustrated because I had a ton of education that I wasn't using, but I recognized at the time, and I think a big part of rewiring our minds is understanding, and I said in episode 1, all emotions serve a purpose. And so if we wake up and we do not feel our most optimal self, why?
Mm-hmm.
That's where it starts. Before you can start to put the things in place to rewire, before you can start to learn, so you can read 1,000 self-help books. If you don't apply the knowledge, you're just reading. You're just reading. Like, you might as well just read a fun book or watch TV. Like, you're just reading. And so you need to understand, like, why do you feel frustrated? Why do you feel left behind? Why do you feel angry? Why do you feel jealous? Why do you feel numb? I think numb is a big one we ignore. I think those harsh emotions can be very motivating for us to come to a conversation like today and start talking about rewiring our thought process. But I think sometimes that numb feeling is a hard one for us because life is okay. It's just okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's kind of like, do you lay your head down at night feeling amazing? Do you wake up in the morning feeling amazing? Are you excited about the person that you're beside? Are you excited about the people you're going to see? Are you excited about the job you're going to? If you aren't, you need to be here in this conversation talking about tips and tools to rewire your thought processes. Because you're not in the right place, you're not aligned.
Really curious to hear what you guys out there are trying to work on. Put it in the comments below.
Let us know.
We're very curious to know. And I feel the same way. I do think that people also have to remember that this is a continuous process.
Totally.
And that there is really no finish line for, rewiring your brain, because we're constantly evolving people with changing goals, with, different circumstances. And all of these require you to continue to adapt to this. And that requires you to be a different person and to actually kind of evolve your thinking to match the situation. So, I don't think that I'm, that deep into it. There's a lot of people, like you said, that are further ahead in life, and that's completely normal.
Yeah.
Everyone's journey is different. I'm happy with where the progress that I'm at now,
Yeah.
but I do recognize that I need to continue to improve, which is why I'm doing these things, right? Like right now, I don't really have anything that I feel badly about,
No.
but I'm still doing the work, using all of the different avenues to try to improve, to get to that next level, and I want to keep moving forward. So even if you feel like good right now, I think there's no reason why you don't try to continue to move the needle a little bit forward, right? So,
100%. And I think, like, am I a more disciplined version of myself than I was 5 years ago? Hands down.
yeah.
Anybody who's watching this, who's known me for more than 5 or 6 years, knows, yeah, again, I was always the workhorse at work, but my personal discipline was trash. It was just not in place. And again, I didn't have really negative self-talk,
Yeah.
but I tend to bully myself. And I tend to, like, if I find I'm starting to procrastinate on something, or I find I'm just stagnating, like I'm watching TV instead of getting up and doing my workout,
Yeah.
I will out loud say, Jenny, get up and do your workout, probably with more profanity, but this is on YouTube, so I'm not going to give more profanity, but I will literally out loud bully myself into standing up and going to do the thing.
Yeah.
I think a lot when we are a self-deprecating kind of person, or we are somebody who really does need to rewire a lot of things, a good place to start is to just write down when you have a negative thought, right? And whether that's about yourself or your work or your partner or your kids or whatever it is, just write down. And then I always just say, write down the opposite thought beside it.
Yes.
Right? That's
Absolutely.
it. So if you're like, I suck, I'm a loser, I can't get ahead, my friends are so successful.
Yes.
Be like, I'm awesome, I'm lovable.
Yeah.
I love being surrounded by people who are working towards their goals.
Yeah, and that's actually in my recovery coaching course, one of the things that they actually talk about quite a bit is cognitive behavioral therapy, and actually doing exactly just that. So reframing things in a way that's actually productive, rather than, exactly, self-deprecating and negative, because you can acknowledge that something's not positive without it having a negative impact. So I can't think of any specific examples right now, but there's so many of just the way that you frame the way that you think of something can absolutely like turn it from a negative to a positive.
Yeah, and I mean, speak things into existence, right? Like, speak the life you want into existence. And this is an interesting one I come across a lot, and I'd be curious for the coaches out there or the wannabe coaches out there, how you would handle this with your clients. So I see a lot, I'll tell people, speak things into existence. And I'm not a big like manifest it person, because I think there's a lot more pieces than just saying I want this thing, right? Like, you need to be aligned fully, and you need to believe in yourself and all, but I can't just say I want $1 billion and tomorrow $1 billion is going to come to me, right? It's like you can ask for things, but what are you doing on the other half to get it there, right? Did you buy a lottery ticket at least? Did you do something other than like stay in your house watching TV, because it's pretty unlikely $1 billion is going to knock on your door. It might, who knows, random things happen, but I think
that would be nice.
It would be nice. But the speak things into existence is a big one for me. And a lot of my clients come to me and they go, well, I'm Delulu. What are you talking about? I can't just write down like, I'm happy, I'm successful. And I said, why not? You write down, I'm sad, I'm angry, I hate my life. Why can't you write down, I love my life, I'm happy, I'm successful? Yeah. What makes it more Delulu, one or the other, right? And it's like, we're so used to this I can't mentality, or I don't know how mentality. But if you just frame it as the opposite, you don't have to tell people, you don't have to walk around saying, I'm a billionaire, my life is successful. Although if you go on TikTok or Insta or anywhere, you will see people who literally are working that manifestation thing day by day. But I don't think it makes you Delulu. I think it just means you're speaking to yourself as your future self. You're speaking to yourself as the person who has the skills, the knowledge, the personality, whatever it is that you're aiming for, has already achieved. Right?
I just think there is just a slight fine line though about that, especially for the people that are on TikTok and all of the tubes. There's a difference between kind of speaking something into existence and lying to people that you already have that. And I think there's
It's definitely fun. Like, don't lie to people.
No.
Don't lie to people about what it is.
But like, I will be a great success. I will do this. You know, like I am working to do this.
I think I am. Like,
Yeah,
I am
you're right.
working to be successful.
Yes.
I am working to be.
I am on my way to being a billionaire.
I am on my way. Like, I am
You
doing
can start
the
with
things
$1.
necessary. Yeah. You made 50 cents today? Guess what? That's 50 cents more
You're
than
on
you
your way to
started
being a
today.
billionaire.
That's it. And I think, like, yeah, I am.
Yes.
Right? I am gives it ownership.
Yeah, and I will is kind of like too.
Well, I will feels like you don't feel like you can.
Yeah.
I will feels like
It's
I'm
not
not
like
right now, but tomorrow I
Yeah,
might.
you're right.
Right? And
Yeah.
you know me, I'm a big like, just
Right now.
start right now.
Yeah.
Start right now.
Right now.
Like,
Just
right
do
now.
it. Start
Whatever
right
it is.
now.
Yeah.
Whatever it is you're trying to do it right now.
Yeah, like write down right now.
Yeah.
I will, whatever you're trying to reframe.
Yes. Like we're doing this podcast right now.
Yeah.
And we will get to 1 million.
We will get to 1 million subscribers.
We are on our way to 1 million subscribers.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes.
And that's it.
By the way, guys, subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe. Help us get to 1 million subscribers. It's really for us, it's about getting this message out here, helping people with things we've learned in our own lives, we've learned through our education. Sam and I are differently educated. I think we both bring our own life experiences to the table for these things, but no matter who you are, I think it's important to acknowledge that you can always be a better version of yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? Like
100%.
That needle, that future self, like what does your future self look like? If you achieve it in a week, because maybe your future self is just, I want to lose 5 pounds.
Yeah.
And you achieve that in 2 weeks. Okay, well now you're that self in 2 weeks. Some timelines are very short.
Yeah.
I want to be kinder. Well, I can be kinder right now. That can be a right now thing. It's okay, now I'm kinder, now what?
Yeah.
I don't just go about my days being like, well, I'm kind.
Yeah.
You know.
No one's perfect.
No one needs to be anything else. Like,
Yeah.
could my diet be better? Could my sleep be better?
Yes.
Could I get really in depth? Could I start sleep taping my mouth? Like, how could I get more in depth? And you know I sleep tape my mouth. How could I
didn't, but that tracks.
It tracks. It's on brand.
Yeah.
You know, I think, and it's always like rewiring your sense of self is understanding that your sense of self is consistently changing.
Yeah.
And what does the next version of you need, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually,
Yeah.
to be that next version, and the next version, and the next version.
Yeah.
Because all of the billionaires in the world weren't born that way. That person
Some,
was
but
built.
mostly
Well,
not.
Okay, yeah, but in personality,
Yeah.
if they're self-made,
Yeah.
they were not born that way, right?
100%,
If
yeah.
they were born into, like, again, I'll bring up Dan Pena, born to a cop, like a
Yeah.
standard policeman's family, or Arnold Schwarzenegger,
Mhm.
comes from a farm kid background, came to America with like $20 in his pocket.
Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, Jeff
worked
Bezos.
At McDonald's before
Worked at McDonald's.
Doing Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's a lot about understanding, like, who do you need to keep building
Yeah.
and how.
Yeah.
So like reframing is a great how.
Mhm.
Being around the right people is a really great how.
Yeah.
Being in the right mental, physical, emotional, spiritual
Yes.
body for yourself. Because I will tell you right now, one of my mentors said to me, and Sean, if you're listening, this is for you, buddy. I, many years ago, thought I was going to be a restaurant mogul. Like, that was my big goal, right? Be a restaurant entrepreneur. And I was there, basically. Like, I was running very large restaurants, and I was very successful in my career path. And I wasn't taking care of myself.
Yeah.
I was about 30 pounds lighter than we currently am, which is
Lighter or heavier?
lighter.
Yeah.
So which is real thin for me. I was like 92 pounds, soaking wet. And I was working 30, 40, 50 days straight. And I'm all about the grind.
Yeah.
But I was in that numb state. I thought I was going to be this massively successful person. And he sat me down one day and he said, you cannot build an empire on a broken foundation.
Mhm.
And he said, what are you doing for your mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional self?
Yeah.
And I said, nothing. What are you talking about? Businesses are built on hard work. And he laughed in my face and said, no, they're not.
Yeah.
No, they're not. And he said, fix your foundation.
Yeah.
And I started to mirror what he was doing.
Mhm.
And so at 50 years old, Sean's now almost 60 years old, like, he still works out every day. He still eats super clean. He still doesn't drink. He still is around other successful people. And you start to go, I see.
The version of that, kind of similar to that quote that I really like, is you can't pour from an empty cup.
100%.
So that's how we've said that in my house. It's you just can't pour from an empty cup. So you do have to fill, yourself first to actually be able to help others to
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if that is your goal as a coach, understand you cannot lead from the back, right? You have to lead from the front.
Yeah.
And so in whatever aspect of coaching that you're looking to bring to the table, for me it's nutrition and lifestyle, for you it's recovery. You can't fall off the wagon and be teaching others recovery.
No.
Right? Like, I'm sorry, and if you are a coach, I will 100%, I'm a very firm person and I'm a very firm believer, lead from the front. I am consistent every single day in my diet, 365 days a year. I do not miss on holidays, I do not miss on birthdays, I do not take cheat meals. I am 100% 365 days a year, because who am I to tell you to do something I'm not doing myself?
Yeah. And that's why I'm not a nutrition and fitness coach. But I am a recovery coach, and I am been in recovery for almost 3 years, and that
and you're
has
very
never
successful
failed.
in your
Yeah.
recovery, extremely successful in your recovery, and given what your recovery circumstances are, you very much lead from the front. You are very, very devout in the way that you work through your own recovery and the systems you had to rewire.
Yeah, thank you.
I think, actually, let's speak to that for a second. What did you rewire in your own mind to be able to go from your former self to your sober self? How did you rewire that?
That's a little
Throwing the hard
question.
one at you.
Yeah, that's a little question. I think one of the biggest things that rewired my brain was actually my first business. So I spoke about this in the success episode, the first episode of our podcast, but that at the time that I started that business, I really thought that I could just do anything, everything that I wanted at the same time without any negative results ever, like no consequences to my actions. Like, I just thought that because I wanted it, I could just will anything into existence.
Right.
Now, I do strongly believe into doing that.
Yeah.
However, if you're willing yourself to both be out partying all night, have a successful business, you know, just be in like perfect shape, you just have to be realistic also.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you can't go in all directions, and some people do, but I mean, usually with AIDS and others, you know, things, maybe like steroids or something. But yeah, so for me, I think just like the failure of that project, which was something that I really cared about, made me realize at that point, it's like, you know, you really do have to kind of focus in your will into something. And for me, I still do really want to be successful, and to me, partying, like that kind of lifestyle just really was secondary to that. You know, when I realized that I couldn't do it all at the same time. So for me, if like something had to go, that was for sure going to be it, because to me, like having mental stability, you know, working on a project that I'm really passionate about, moving forward in life was significantly more important than just hanging around people, you know, kind of having the same night and just like Groundhog Day, just like have the same night in different places, doing the same things, and just like not being healthy. So to me, when I realized that I couldn't will everything into existence at once, and that I had to focus on something, then I realized that I had what I had to do. What I had to do was kind of the things that weren't working for me. So again, like I said earlier, it's like insanity is doing the same thing over and expecting different results. And when I realized that that was just continuing to bring me back to that same place, it was an obvious choice.
That's that's incredible.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people struggle with that in their recovery journey is, you know, they want to be there for their family or for their business or whatever it is, and there's always this sort of like hidden thing. I did a Instagram post about that in my own world the other day, saying when people in my life started to catch on about me drinking or my bad food, I just hid it from them. I kept doing what I was doing, I just hid it from them. And until I had a realization, like, no one was going to force me to change. I have far too much like aggression and ego as a human being. If you try to force me to do something, I'm just going to do it 1,000 times more, just to tell you that you can't tell me what to do.
That's probably what we bonded over.
100% what we bonded over. But for me, it was the same thing. I had to make this choice, and I realized when my boss sat me down and said, "You can't build a foundation or you can't build an empire on a broken foundation." It was a very similar story, and I had to sit down and look myself in the mirror and be like, "What kind of choices am I making?" as an adult. I'm not 20 anymore.
Yeah.
And even at that, listen, I don't support this behavior.
No, absolutely not.
I think teenagers and young adults also need to be working more in a coaching space or seeing coaches. You have no time like the present, and
Absolutely.
you know, as they say, if you don't make time for your wellness, you will have to make time for your illness.
Yes,
And
I love that.
That's a big part of this rewiring conversation, is like the how is individual. And
Yes.
there is no, I think what you'll consistently see from this podcast with Sam and I is there is no magic hack. Anybody on the internet who's telling you
That's it.
5 hacks to a better life or 5 hacks to become disciplined. Life changes take commitment.
Yes.
And you get nothing in life for free.
That's it.
So you have to make a choice about what it is you want to rewire.
Yeah.
You need to be around the people and the environment to be able to accomplish rewiring that.
Yeah.
And if that's recovery or that's nutrition, weight loss, a business, whatever it is, you need to be in the right environment, surrounded by the right people who can support you in that journey. Most people don't do really well on their own. We are a communal, humans as a species are communal.
And that's why both of us have been coached
100%.
and are coaching.
100%.
It's because there is no cookie cutter solution.
No cookie cutter solution.
Obviously, there's things that we've been speaking about
Tools.
that actually
Tools.
that help you towards that, and will help anyone that's really kind of trying to do that.
Mhm.
But what really needs to be applied to your life is completely dependent to your circumstances. Just who, what, where, when, all of those things in your life, and having someone that keeps you accountable really does help, and it helps us, and that's what we're also doing with other people. So.
Yeah, and my clients keep me accountable. Again, like I said, I lead from the front. So when I show up for them, some of my clients I meet with for check-ins just daily for 5 minutes. How are you going? What did you eat? How are you feeling? Is there anything that we struggled with today we need to talk about? And we move forward. But that keeps me accountable, because if I can't show up to them and say, oh yeah, I went off the rails, I ate terribly, I didn't work out today, I didn't feel like it. Who am I to show up for them that day, right? So it keeps me accountable. But I think really like the hack, pay attention, the hack is commitment.
Yeah.
Like consistency is key.
Yeah.
And you have to understand that when you're trying to rewire your thought process, when you're trying to rewire the way you feel about things, when you're trying to rewire your mental state,
Yes.
It's going to be hard.
Yes.
It is not going to be an easy process. You're not going to write once in a journey, I will have a successful, or write in a journal, I will have a successful business, and just, did my due diligence. You have to be consistent with your dedication to changing the way you think about things, with changing the way you do things, with changing the people in your life, with having hard conversations.
Yeah.
And that includes hard conversations with you.
Yes.
That includes looking yourself in the mirror and saying, I haven't been doing my best, but I want to.
Yeah. I think you're right though. That's a good summary of it, because you have to commit to the thing that you're aiming for.
Yeah.
And then all of the pieces that you have to change really are going to kind of fall into place. And maybe you need some help externally. It's always good to have.
Yeah.
And also internally, you have to have those talks and kind of look at all of the things that need to be changed in order to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And that will be the rewiring that you need.
100%. Like that is the hack.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you need. Consistency, dedication.
Yeah.
Choose you.
Choose you. Choose you.
Choose you.
Yeah.
So cheesy, but it's true. It's
Yeah.
true. Like that's the number one thing I would tell my clients. It's the number one thing I would say to you. It's the number one thing I would say to myself. It's like choose you.
Yeah.
Because until you do,
choose you. And then choose us as your podcast to go to for great advice and for tips and tricks.
Yeah.
So subscribe below.
With like this, subscribe below. Well, I don't know. I think that pretty much wraps it up. I don't know if I have any other thoughts or tips or tricks. I really think like that one big thing is, sorry guys, there's no hack. You gotta do the work.
You gotta commit.
You gotta do the work.
Yeah.
Learn the tools and commit. That's it.
What do you guys think? Comment down below. Bye.
Bye.